Chapter 14. Confession. When Debra came to pick him up the next morning, he went down the path with a huge smile and a winner's spirit about him. He was practically glowing with energy.
Kay?
So, what's up with you? You look happier.
Debra chuckled as they pulled off.
Guess.
She shrugged.
Well, I don't know. Are you getting more fiber?
What? No, what is it with you white girls and fiber? I'll just tell you. I broke up with Natalie last night.
Oh my, how are you coping?
Great. I finally realized you were a much better choice for me anyway.
She slammed the brakes and the car lurched to a stop.
Wait, what?
She turned on him with a mixed bag of emotions playing over her face.
Well, I thought we could try and take our relationship to the next level. I know you like me, so I thought, why not?
He said, a bit shaken. Debra pulled the car over to the curb and put it into park. Taking a deep breath, she looked him dead in the eyes.
What the hell is it with you men and your egos? You didn't even talk this over with me. Did you just assume I was desperate and needy? You thought I would jump at a chance to be with you? Is that it? You thought, well, she's fat, so she must be desperate and lonely, right? Well, I've got news for you, Marcus. I don't think you're good enough for me. Sorry, but we're just friends.
Debra pulled off again, switched on the radio, and didn't speak for the rest of the ride. The interaction left Marcus a bit confused. It had gone nothing like he'd imagined. He was so sure she'd jump up and down, crying tears of joy as she embraced him. Thinking it over in the awkward silence between them, he realized that he may have been a bit too optimistic. He weighed whether he should apologize or just brush it off like a man, but quickly snapped back to reality. Who was he kidding? He couldn't play that Mr. Cool card on Debra. This woman already knew the assortment of choice words that his ex had subjected him to. She knew about Natalie's proclivity to douse him in cold water when she was angry. She knew how emasculated he'd been. He would have to apologize, if only to avoid the awkward silence during work and when she drove him home later. But he couldn't bring himself to do it for almost the entire day, finding excuses to procrastinate his apology as they worked. After the lunch rush was over, they packed up shop and got into Debra's car. As he'd predicted, the awkward silence carried over and occupied the car space. In a feeble attempt to break it, he said,
You feel that breeze that just passed through here? Cold, right?
Debra glared at him, then turned back to her driving. That was it. He broke down.
Deb, I'm sorry. It was wrong to think you'd just run into my arms. I thought since I knew you liked me that I already had you and I could get you any time I wanted. But you're right. I'm not good enough for you.
Debra pulled over and turned to him.
Kay, let's talk. You think you're so smart, huh? Trying to reverse psychology me. You know I didn't mean what I said earlier. You're a great guy, Marcus. You just got me mad, and I went straight for your ego to get back at you. So I'm sorry too.
She sighed.
The truth is, I am desperate and lonely. I think about you all the time these days, and I do want you, but I guess I'm scared. I've never had a boyfriend, you know, and I'm probably vulnerable at this point in my life. I don't want to get hurt or lose my dignity, but I don't want to lose you either. You're the only real friend in my life, and I don't want to lose that. You get what I'm saying?
He paused to let it all sink in before finally nodding.
I get it. But I think, just like with our business venture, you have to take a little risk. Take a chance with me, Deb. You did it once before, right?
For a while she looked reluctant, and he thought she would reject him again.
God, you're so smooth. Kay, but if we're going to be together, we need to lay down some ground rules first.
Rules like what?
Shaking her forefinger like a mom, she said,
First of all, and this is the main one, no sex before marriage.
What? That's crazy.
Debra rolled her eyes playfully.
Really, Marcus? You're not getting any now, and you're living with the girl.
He pouted like a kicked dog. He opened his mouth to protest, to suggest something else, but she cut him off.
Is it really going to be that hard to just continue like this? At least until we're sure we can fully commit to each other. Or is it that you don't want to commit, and you just want to fling?
No, it's not that. I love you, but why marriage? It's so old-fashioned, and most fail anyway.
He said.
"Aw, you love me? That's so sweet."
She teased, poking him in the side. They had a small laugh, and all the tension from earlier lifted entirely.
"You know that I'm a Christian, and therefore I subscribe to Christian beliefs."
She said, getting sober.
"I left my home and gave up on my family for my beliefs. If I sacrificed so much for this and then had sex outside of marriage, what would I really be? I'd be a failure. Besides, just because other people's marriages are failing, and some consider it old-fashioned, doesn't mean we shouldn't try. My faith is important to me, and I believe that this is the best choice. I may not have had any option but to stay a virgin in school, but I do now, and it's important to me, so please respect that."
Her voice cracked as she expressed herself, and her eyes watered. Marcus could see that she was deeply invested in her faith and allowed himself to think about what she had said more seriously. He knew he wanted her to be his and no one else's, so what better way to ensure that than with marriage? He wasn't necessarily opposed to the idea. The moment provided a prime opportunity to bring up one of his concerns.
"If you want to wait, then we'll wait, but I have a rule too,"
he said. She nodded for him to go on.
"You have to lose some weight."
She sobered up almost instantly and threw him a confused look. With a scornful laugh, she said,
"You think I haven't tried losing the weight? It's hard. You have no idea what it's like."
"You're right. But I'm not setting a target weight for you. All I want is for you to start regular exercise and watch what you eat. No sodas, more veggies."
Their McDonald's date flashed through his mind, and he added,
"Oh, and watch your portion sizes."
"I thought you loved me for who I am. I thought you loved everything about me."
She whimpered.
"I do, but we all have faults, and I think the real issue is if you're willing to work on your faults to make it work."
"So you're saying my weight is a fault?"
"Yes, it will shorten your lifespan, and if you really care about me, you wouldn't want to take my joy away, would you? Honestly, a bit of size doesn't matter, but being healthy does, because it affects both of us."
"God, you're smooth."
She laughed. Marcus was surprised. He could hardly believe he was successful. She was so much more easygoing than Natalie, and he could have a logical discussion with her and not have to worry about verbal and physical abuse. It was a huge relief.
"Fine. I'll start up an exercise regimen from next week, okay? But you're coming with me."
She grinned.
"Wait, what?"
"If you really want me to lose weight, then you have to support me. So you have to go to the gym too."
But I'm quite fit."
She only had to give him a look for him to change his tune.
"But I'll do anything for my baby."
He sang. She laughed, hiding the blush that was forming on her cheeks. After that, they were back on the road, talking and laughing as usual.
"So tell me what happened last night. I mean, what made you finally leave her?"
Debra asked.
"Well, girl, not sure. I guess it started off with those girls from yesterday.
"What girls?"
Some girls in my neighborhood saw you dropping me off, and they start telling me all kind of thing."
He shrugged,
"Hold up. What kind of stuff?"
waving his hand vaguely.
"You know, the whole keep to your own people, backwards kind of thinking."
"No, I don't know. Tell me what they said."
He went on to relate the entire experience, and when he was finished, Debra was furious, but strangely, also a bit aroused. She felt naughty, like she had somehow become the bad girl. When they pulled up to his house, the two girls he had talked about were sitting out front in their lawn. They were about to roll blunts. Shaking his head, Marcus opened the door to step out when Debra grabbed his arm and breathed,
"Kiss me."
His eyes opened wide, but before he could respond, she already had her tongue in his mouth. The girls watched as she had her way with him, and he held her, really getting into the make-out session. Disgusted at the sight, they stood and went back inside. Once they were gone, Debra pulled away.
"Ha, we got 'em good. They're probably so pissed."
She snickered.
"Is that what you did that for, just to get them angry?"
Marcus asked, still slightly stunned.
"Yeah, why?"
"You can't do that to me, Deb. I'm a man that hasn't been having much sex lately. If you keep doing things like that, I'll have to break that rule of yours."
She laughed.
Sorry, I got you a little excited, did I?
I thought you were a virgin. Where you learn to kiss like that?
He eyed her suspiciously and she shrugged.
I'm a natural, I guess. I may be a virgin, but I do have experience in other areas, like kissing and stuff, but not sex.
Okay, interesting.
Waving her goodbye as she pulled off, he felt a refreshed sensation come over him. He was starting from scratch. New job, new girl. Things were good. Getting inside the house, he took off his jacket and reached to hang it on the coat rack and paused. It wasn't there. Glancing around, he noticed the place was oddly quiet, as if every movement he made echoed off the walls. Going into the living room, he realized what had happened. Moving from room to room, he found each one empty. All his furniture, electronic appliances, even a few fixtures. Everything gone. All that remained was his mattress, only now it was soaked in a liquid that smelled disturbingly similar to urine. Thankfully, it was shoved into a corner of the room. He took off his clothes and tossed them into the closet with a long sigh. Natalie had said she would be back for her stuff. A lot of what she had taken, though, she hadn't paid for, since her shopping list mostly consisted of shoes, clothes, weave, and relaxer. Surprisingly, he didn't feel any loss. In fact, he was at peace. His new life had begun, and there was nothing left to hold him back. A weight had finally been lifted from his life. That night he slept on the floor, using his bundled clothes as a pillow, and had the most pleasant sleep in years.